Hello Libra, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and it is time for June readings. This month I have a new deck. It is the Magical Hours Tarot deck, and I just cracked it this morning, so it's a little stiff, but it is gorgeous. As always, these are general tarot readings, so they're not quite the same as a one-to-one reading. Libra, please take what resonates for you and leave the rest for another Libra. I invite you to check out the videos for all of your major astrological placements. So that'll be your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, or, feel free to check out the videos for any you are inspired to check out, really. But the big three are probably the best. And I skip over, or I don't skip over, but I fast forward the video over the shuffling part. And I just get into the video when I'm laying out the cards. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck really good for you, but I'm going to edit the video to the part where I lay out the cards. So I will see you there. Okay, Libra, let's see what we've got. The King of Swords, the Two of Wands, Temperance, the Tower, Empress, and the Seven of Wands. Okay. So we've got 3 out of 6 major arcana. So that's big. That's half of your reading is major arcana cards. So that's, big shifts ahead. And Tower, that's a big shift. Now, the King of Swords, I would read this as someone other than you, even though this could be you in your own energy, right? This could be a Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. I would read this as someone with an offer for you, someone with advice for you, someone with news for you that might sort of shake up your world. Now, this is a very dramatic version of the Tower, but I'll tell you, I really don't hate the Tower. For me, the Tower is kind of a breakthrough card. Even if we aren't ready for a breakthrough, the Tower tends to be the breakthrough that we need. Or sometimes, we're looking for a breakthrough. The Tower can be not the breakthrough that we wanted, but the breakthrough that we need. So I would say that the King of Swords could be someone that has like an agent or a boss or a future boss, potential boss, something like that. Could be like a mentor or a father figure, but this would typically be someone with a kind of a no-nonsense delivery, not an emotionally forward person, a very direct in his communication style, with a contract or an invitation or, like I said, advice or a connection for you that may be surprising or not the connection or contract or role that you expected, or perhaps not the timing you expected or wanted or hoped for. Maybe it was too soon, maybe it was later, maybe it comes out of the blue, something along those lines, and kind of shakes things up. It could be, depending on your circumstances, it's going to be different for different Librans, right? It could be the kind of thing where there's a restructuring at your job, or it could be the job that you thought, a job that you applied for that you thought you lost comes through 2 months later, or you didn't get a job you wanted, but they offer you something else. Or maybe it's not a job, but it's something to do with your escrow, or maybe it's neither of those situations, but your brother has an apology. It could be something along those lines. It could be someone with news that is surprising, or puts something into place, or, maybe there's a will or something. And it looks to happen fairly early in the month. So there's something that shakes up your month. And I'm going to say, even though it looks surprising, it's actually for your benefit, or it's a good thing that this happens, even though it may be a scramble early in the month, or it means you have to sort of switch things up. The next card we have, the Two of Wands, is sort of a plotting and planning and rearranging, sort of your own goals. It's a goal setting card. So even though we have this kind of, up, what appears to be, a very upsetting card, we just casually have you sort of resetting some goals later on here. So I think what this news actually does, instead of like destroying your whole world, is it actually breaks down some armor that you didn't need anymore. It breaks down some, or it breaks off like a mask, and gets you, it gets you operating more nimbly, I would say, because the rest of this reading, you're kind of like, we have the Empress here, who's very fruitful and very fertile and creative, and this is kind of the card of beauty. It's a glow up card. People see you and want you, and it's a sort of, it's a weird sort of victory card. People are wanting you and calling for you, and you don't have to do anything about it in this phase. Like, you can kind of just plot your next moves but not really do anything about it, because in the Empress phase, people are just calling you. The Empress doesn't have to go out and do anything. People just gravitate towards her. She is receptive to invitations. Her crops ripen just because she asks them to. She's the goddess of the harvest, right? So she just calls upon on the crops to harvest or ripen, and they're ready to harvest. Interestingly, in the next column, we have temperance, which is about, moderation. So we have a little bit of we have a bumper crop in the middle of the month. And then we have this little bit of pacing yourself. And then we do have a moment where You do have to audition, or you do have to do a little interview or put yourself out there. But as long as you show up to the audition or the interview or what have you with your confidence, it's your moment to shine. You do have to, show up. But the Seven of Wands promise that if you do go to the audition or if you do go to the interview, submit yourself. You just have to be honest, do your thing, and you get the job or you get the part or whatever it is that you're putting yourself out there or you're submitting yourself for is yours, so long as you're true to your brand. This is such an interesting reading, Libra. Yeah, I think the two most important cards in this reading are obviously the Tower and the Empress. And they both speak to a sort of letting go of the old and stiff, crumbly armor, being true to the sort of raw beauty, being yourself, your fertile, sort of beautiful, available self. The Temperance card speaks to an awareness of the weirdness of timing this month. So I think there's also something with this offer from the King that there's weird timing throughout the month. So you will have to be, I think, nimble at a few points throughout the month. So it's, hurry up and wait a few times throughout the month. But just keep true to sort of your goals and, yourself, your brand. I prefer to be honest. I don't think you're going to love some of the timing of this month, but it is happening for a reason. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful. Just stay nimble. There's some cool stuff coming. So do take care, Libra. Until next time, bye for now.